Hey everyone, Bruce Morris from the TABB Group here. Welcome to TabbFORUM's Market Structure Wave. Last month, TABB Group published our annual list of the TabbFORUM 40 award honorees. The TabbFORUM 40 honors top innovators in the capital markets, those leaders whose blend of vision, strategy, and execution set them apart in applying technology for the market's maximum advantage. Today, we are very fortunate to have one of our TabbFORUM 40 honorees, Anton Katz, CEO and co-founder of Talos, join us on Market Structure Wave. First off, Anton, congratulations on being named the TabbFORUM 40 honoree. Your career has spanned engineering, trading, and now building one of the most influential institutional platforms in digital assets. Can you share with our members how you first got started in this business and how that early experience shaped the innovation mindset you've embedded into Talos's culture and product strategy?
Yeah, absolutely. And first of all, let me just say it's a pleasure to do this again with you. And thank you once again for nominating me and nominating us and for considering us. And I'm thrilled and honored to be a part of this list. And I've looked around, and it's a tremendous group of people that you've included me in. So thank you very much. It obviously does not belong to me. It really belongs to the entire team here at Talos, starting with my co-founder and CTO, Ethan Feldman. But it's a big honor, and thank you so much for including me in this. Look, I mean, how did we start this? It's my background, and really the background of everybody here at Talos, is in capital markets, and we're technologists. I'm an engineer by training, just like many of the folks at Talos. And we've built throughout our career the infrastructure behind quite a lot of asset classes, across everything, across FX and fixed income and futures and so on and so forth. And so about 7 years ago, Ethan and I were having a conversation around what blockchain could bring to the market. And it's an interesting conversation. Both of us were still at capital markets back in the day. And we thought two things, basically. We looked at crypto specifically, and we said, hey, if crypto has the potential to become an institutional asset class, which we thought it will, institutions will have to get involved. And if that's true, then institutions will need the kind of tools, the kind of environment that they use in capital markets. And we are experts in building that. So that's the reason why we got into digital assets in the first place. We felt we had something to contribute. And the reason why even get involved is because as an engineer, I can tell you it's as exciting as seeing the internet built in front of your eyes. And at that point, you don't have the ability to say to yourself, like, oh, I'm just going to sit this one out. We're engineers in capital markets. We build a lot of that infrastructure. And our core belief is that ultimately all assets are digital assets. And so we are seeing right now the transformation of the entire financial industry and really onboarding into this new digital assets rails. And it is an incredible journey. Like it's been 7 years for us now. I still think that there's plenty to go, especially with the kind of adoption that we're starting to see right now. But that's the reason why we got involved. We've built this kind of stuff in capital markets, and we're now building the kind of infrastructure that institutions truly use in digital assets. And that starts with crypto and expands to other asset classes as we go.
Great. Well, thanks for sharing those early days. We're seeing accelerating institutional adoption from banks to the largest global asset managers, driven by clearer rules, tokenization pilots, and the rise of institutional DeFi. What has Talos seen in 2025 in terms of institutional adoption? And how do you see the role of trusted intermediaries evolving as more capital markets infrastructure moves on chain?
Yeah, it's a great question, and especially this year, because honestly, I mean, 2025 has been a banner year for the entire industry. It really started the kickoff for this wave of institutions coming into crypto started a while ago, and many years ago, even like 3, 4 years ago, we used to say like, oh, institutions are coming, institutions are here. that was not at any reasonable scale. The real scale started happening in the beginning of 2024 with the ETFs being approved, the crypto ETFs being approved across, I think, believe 7 ETF issuers. And then, like 2024 was kind of like the year of that. We saw a bunch of institutions saying like, okay, this is real, this is happening. The regulator is going to be supporting this. The regulator is already supporting the ETF. That's a very, very regulatory instrument to trade. And so we've seen initial institutions coming in and saying, look, we're going to start pushing the gas pedal. Because up until now, it was a little bit of like, we believe in it, but we'll do a little bit more when we see some adoption. And then in 2025, from the United States perspective, we've seen complete switch from regulatory from the lawmakers, right? So today in 2025, from pretty much the beginning of 2025, we have full support of the crypto community and crypto initiatives across the White House, the Senate, the Congress, the CFTC, and notably the SEC, right? So you have this kind of like 5 organizations that are really there to push the markets forward, and that's exactly what we've seen happen. You know, we so prior to 2025, I would say 60 to 70% of our customers were, and especially new customers, were still crypto natives. They were larger in size. I mean, we tend to go after the medium, like at least in the early years, it was medium to the largest institutions available in this particular market. Today, we open the doors to every institution out there globally. But in 2025, I can tell you, even from a sales perspective, more than half of the institutions that are signing up to the Talos platform are traditional institutions. This year, we've added asset managers that total $21 trillion in assets under management. That's, those are institutional numbers. Those are real numbers. Now, not all of those assets are, of course, on the, are connected to crypto or touching crypto right now, but those are the institutions that govern those kind of assets, right? And that's on the buy side. That's about half our business. Half our business is on the sell side. And there we have onboarded institutions that total, so this is, your retail brokers, institutional brokers, your OTC desks, anybody that's providing the ability for their customers to trade digital assets. There, through, the different customers, we now have reached of around 400 million end users, right? So it's quite a large retail population that we're approaching through our white labeling, through our service provider layer. So the world has shifted pretty dramatically from early adopters to true institutional adoption this year, backed by regulation, backed by legislation. And that's kind of like what we're seeing. And as a result, we're also seeing dramatically different tool set requests. We're seeing, a lot more folks that are coming in and saying, listen, I mean, we really want more than trading. That's part of the reason why now we have portfolio management, we have risk, we have settlement, we have data as a part of our acquisition of Coinmetrics. So even the demand of the clients have changed pretty dramatically over the past year versus the previous years.
Yeah, those are all great examples, and it's a perfect lead-in for my next question. So Anton, as the digital asset ecosystem matures, market structure is consolidating, and clients increasingly demand integrated end-to-end workflows. Just exactly what you were talking about. What does the next phase of M&A standardization and the convergence of TradFi look like, and how does Talos continue to fit into that trajectory moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's top of mind for us and has been the guiding principle for us from the very beginning. When we come from capital markets where a lot of times when you're working for a buy side institution, right? And many people here at Talos work for some of the largest institutions in the world. You are still in many cases choosing maybe like 5 to 10 to 15 different systems that you have to stitch together to make sure that you have a coherent investment lifecycle. You will go to somebody for data. You're going to go to somebody for risk and portfolio management. You will go to somebody different for trading and maybe somebody different for algo trading, right? You will definitely go to somebody different from reconciliation, fund admin, settlement, all the different services that you need to put in place to facilitate that entire investment lifecycle for your customers. 100% in capital markets, there's been a huge move towards one-stop shop. And that's exactly what our clients expect from us. That's part of the reason why we decided to venture, away from focusing just on trading, but given our size and given the resources on our side, we started thinking about the broader experience for our customers. And you're right. I mean, some of it is we're seeing this throughout the market today, and we're very much supporters of that. We think that some of it is going to be by building, and some of it is going to be by buying. We have 4 acquisitions to date, and all of those acquisitions are really there for this strategy to be able to provide our clients, this end-to-end capabilities across the board. But it goes way beyond that as well. If you're starting to think about how digital assets will change capital markets, you start thinking about like, why are we even doing this? Like, why do we think that things will move to digital assets, right? It's not just because like, oh, like it's 24/7 and people want access 24/7. That's up for debate. Generally speaking, it is true. We do see this in fixed income. People need access to repo or to treasuries activity in the middle of the weekend. That today is not available in capital markets. We see this in the settlement landscape as well, right? People need to settle in the at night, in the middle of the weekend, when there's trading, when there's risk activity going on. And that's very, very, very hard to do today in the market. But broader than that, crypto and digital assets in general is interesting because there's technology that's embedded in the asset class. And so when that's the case, you can actually start thinking of this entire investment lifecycle a lot more interconnected. When we trade, we think about the positions. We can see the real-time positions. We can see the real-time balances in the custody, right? We are thinking about the recon. We are thinking about the settlement, and all that kind of stuff can be facilitated in tandem, right? So now you can have this more integrated experiences that, as a result, are a lot more capital efficient, a lot less, risk demanding, capital demanding. So there's quite a lot that's going on there. I think that the new world that we're working towards is going to be this world of consolidated streams, consolidated work stream, and it's going to breed new type of infrastructure, but also, like new type of activity that facilitated by these larger financial institutions.
So you mentioned a couple of acquisitions that yeah, Telos has recently made. Uh, Coinmetrics data platform, I believe, was one of those 4.
That,
How
that,
does
that is correct.
Yeah. So how does bringing this high integrity institutional grade data in-house change Talos's product roadmap, particularly around execution quality, risk analytics,
Yeah.
and on-chain market intelligence?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I mean, so again, to your point, right? When we think about those acquisitions, we think about how does it complete the entire investment lifecycle? What are the tools that we still need to put in place to make sure that our clients truly continue viewing Talos as a one-stop shop? Data has always been part of the equation for us. We have collected data from the moment we started the company, from every single exchange that we connected to, from every execution, every tick of the data we've been collecting. Coinmetrics has been doing exactly the same, but they've been building also the best-in-class distribution layer. So for us, over time, we knew that we have to play a role in the data domain. We have more and more of our clients are basically saying, like, look, I mean, we're coming to you for trading, we're coming to you for portfolio management. Like, we need to go somewhere for data as well. And so far, it's been like, they're going to multiple providers, they're going to different providers. Coinmetrics is the largest one. We have a pretty significant overlap in terms of the client types. They're going for the institutional clients as well, which is exactly where we find a lot of newer clients as well. It became a reasonable direction for us to think about, hey, what if we take our data, what if we take Coinmetrics' data, we connect that to the distribution layer that Coinmetrics has. Plus, Coinmetrics has tons of these tools, to your point, right? The on-chain analytics tools, all the on-chain activity tools, they have risk on their side that's connected to on-chain. So quite a lot of other capabilities that plug into exactly the capabilities on our side. So for instance, we have transaction cost analysis that we've developed from the very beginning. When you are a provider and you're developing smart order routing and algorithmic execution, you technically want to show your customers that you also have the tools to show them that this does what it's supposed to do, and it's actually saving you money, it's actually executing correctly. All that just relies on the data. You should have the best data possible and data that the market can attest to. The market can say like, okay, we trust that kind of source. Coinmetrics has been that source for quite a few clients of ours, quite a few folks in the industry. So for us, in terms of risk, how that plugs into risk, how that plugs into execution, analytics of execution, how that plugs into portfolio management, and rebalancing of our platform, back testing, it's all powered by data. That's why we decided that, the best data out there, the best data platform out there, belongs under the Talos umbrella.
Yeah, no, when I first saw it, it was, I just thought it was a pretty strategic move on your part.
Thank you.
So Anton, with the launch of your RFQ platform, starting with BlackRock traders on Aladdin, Talos is becoming a core pipe in the ETF create, redeem, flow world. As RFQ expands into OTC spot blocks, derivatives, and even lending. How do you envision Talos reshaping the institutional liquidity access across digital assets?
Yeah, look, I mean, it's so we've been working on the functionality for quite some time, of course, and we're very very lucky to have BlackRock as a partner, and we have multiple others that are coming onto the platform for exactly that kind of flow, trading the underlying flow of the ETF, which is great. But yes, to your point, the RFQ platform is really just the fundamental piece of the marketplace. So if you think about Talos today, we already have the majority of the clients on the buy side. We have a very large portion of the clients on the sell side, right? So now we've built a platform that allows the buy side and the sell side to meet. That is the marketplace, right? That's the internally we call it the marketplace. RFQ is at the core of it. And the idea is to extend that platform into block trading, into bilateral derivatives trading, to be able to also, like clear those away to other clearing facility, to be able to go into other asset classes as well, where OTC and RFQ trading activity dominates the trading. So to your question around liquidity, our job is in this particular domain is generally like pretty simple. We're there to allow our clients to get access to liquidity wherever it is, right? And whether it's on a bilateral basis, whether it's on centralized exchanges, but on decentralized exchanges, that continues the job. That job becomes even more complicated to some extent when we're starting to see migration of certain assets to digital assets. And that's exactly where that platform is migrating to, right? We have institutional clients that are currently accessing this market using their standard means, that the standard tooling that they use in capital markets. If some of those assets are tomorrow on chain, some of those assets are in digital assets, it's our job to bridge that divide between the traditional market institutions that are still providing that access to their customers and the liquidity that's now on new rails. So the marketplace, the RFQ platform, is now extending to allow that as well. So in short, the idea is really to go very, very broad here, and especially focus on assets that are either tokenized or digitized, to expand this platform and provide all the institutional clients the ability to continue participating in the liquidity that's available for them, whether it's on-chain or off-chain.
Great. Well, Anton, this has been a very comprehensive conversation on the business and on Talos. And congratulations again on your TabbFORUM 40 honor. That was great news when I saw the list and you were there again for second year in a row. Thanks again for sharing your time and your insights with TabbFORUM today. And for all our viewers who may have missed our TabbFORUM 40 article featuring Anton and all the other TabbFORUM 40 honorees, there'll be a big red button at the end of this interview that'll take you to the article. Thanks again for stopping by for what was hopefully an educational and entertaining ride on TabbFORUM's Market Structure Wave. Hey, thanks again, Anton.
Bruce, thank you. Thank you so much.